Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is our Monday evening community call. I'm Robin Blank Mascari, one of your hosts for this evening. Gregory and I host together, and we get together every Monday night for a variety of reasons. We do updates, we share promotions, we celebrate people, and we do trainings. And this evening, we have a very special training. Ron, why don't you put your phone on mute? That would be good until we for just another minute, and then I'm bringing you on. So this evening, we're going to start out with our training, which is a wonderful one. And I get to introduce this very special man that I met, I think he said 16 months ago. He made it to the top of the pay plan, I think, faster than anybody else. He did what we recommend: build two teams, personally sponsor people that are builders on both legs. And guess what happens? Your business grows. And he's done so well. He's one of the top income earners in our Live Younger community, and we're very proud of him. Full time, he's my favorite chimney sweep. And so he signs people up from the top of roofs. And we're going to hear some great wisdom from Ron Rabun this evening, because he is tearing it up and he's using a gifting model. And I know some of you are gifting. He has practiced and practiced a lot of things, made tweaks in his presentation. Gregory and I listened to it a little earlier, and there's some subtle setups that he does that I hope you have your notes out and ready to take notes, because there's a lot of great information here. So I want to welcome my favorite chimney sweep, and he's on audio this evening because he doesn't want to get soot all over you guys. So he just came down from the chimneys to be with us tonight. So welcome, Ron.
Hey, Robin. Hi, Gregory. Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here.
We are thrilled to have you here. And our topic this evening is gifting. And I know you have been doing it many different ways, and you've honed in on a way that is working masterfully. And we would love it if you would share with the audience today what you're doing that's working so well. We want to talk about the setup, who you gift, how many you gift, what you say. Go for it.
Well, you want the whole ball of wax tonight, right?
Yes, and wrapped up with...
well, thank you very much again for this opportunity. And again, I got a big heart, and I don't want to be the guy that's making money. I want everybody to make money, and all the people on my team, they can probably contest to that, because I spend hours a day doing three-way calls and working real close with my team. I don't care if they're 7 levels down, they're still on my team, and they have a chance to, do everything that we're doing to be involved with this company. So starting back about, a lot of you guys know my testimony. I'm going to skip through a lot of it, but 16 months ago, I was introduced to X39 stem cells, LifeWave. And I was super excited. I'm a science guy, and I understood stem cells. I'd known about them for 20 years. I knew they'd eventually change the future that we know today. But I didn't think that they would come along in my lifetime, because I'm up there a little bit in years. I'm 65. But still, I was grateful that they came along. So what I did right from day one was just focused on X39. Now, LifeWave has phenomenal patches. I use some of them. I love them. And that's how the company started with, individual patches one at a time. And then they ended up with, quite a few. But X39, I realized it was kind of like all conducive. It kind of like, it helped you sleep. It helped with pain. It built stem cells. And so I didn't want to just be trying to share everything at once. And so that was my beginning secret that I did, focused on X39. And then right from day one, I realized I needed to sample this product. People need to try this product. So I tried it several ways. One way, I sent out 6 patches to 2 times to like 5 different people. Well, I realized real quick that wasn't cost effective for me. In July of 2019, being a chimney sweep, chimneys are a little slow that time of year, so I had to really watch my income. So I started talking to Robin and Gregory and some other people on my team, and decided that, we needed to hone it down a little bit. And I did find out that when I was giving people like 5 and 6 patches, they weren't, some of them weren't even using them. I don't know if it's because I gave them too many and they just were overwhelmed or what, but, I couldn't afford, hitting 6 people at $100 a month, and whereby I could do it maybe less and be cheaper. So long story short, we decided on trying one patch only. And so that's what we did. And we had developed a flyer back in the day that we could put a patch on with a glue stick. And some of the people out there and on my team are familiar with that flyer that we had. And it seemed to work pretty good. And so we ended up sharing that with folks. And then I was able to share with, 30 people with one sleeve, which was a lot more cost effective for me. So that's how I started then. Do I need to pause, Robin, so you can ask another question, or just keep going?
You're doing great. And, this man is, like you said, he's got a huge heart. He's always helping everyone. He wants everyone to win. So what we'd love to hear from you, Ron, is you've evolved this process over time, and you're using a single patch. If you could share with the audience how you set it up, what you say, how you get them to call you back, and then what happens.
Absolutely. So what I do is, I tried it different ways, like I told you, with the 6 patches or 5 patches. And so then I decided to use the one patch, and that seemed to work more favorably for me. And I would tell people that, the way the way they ended up getting the patch was I would either on social media run into them at the store or on the phone, and I would, pique their interest in stem cells or ask if they'd heard about X39, just different things. If I ran into someone with a pain injury, maybe possibly, or whatever, a discomfort, I guess, I would ask them if they, were interested in maybe trying something to see if it might help them. And so then I get their interest there, but usually 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, nobody gets a sample from me unless they've watched that 3-minute video that we have, 3-minute, 29-second video that you guys are pretty all familiar with. And so then they've watched it, and, I've contacted them back, or, or maybe given them, showed them at the store, possibly just send it to their phone. But anyway, getting to the sample part, I tell them that, I'm going to give them one sample, and I tell them that they might not feel anything. Now, before I used to tell people, like for 8 months, that 70% of the people feel something and 30% don't. Well, I was having 30% of the people that were irritated with me because they weren't part of the 70% that felt something. And so it was causing me some problems, and I wasn't having that many people call me back. So about 6 months ago, I changed my verbiage a little bit, and I started telling them they might not feel anything. Well, that started working out better for me, because I would tell them, you might not feel anything, but what I want you to do is, put that patch on in the morning and keep it on all day. Take it off after 12 hours when you go to bed. And then the next day, this is where it gets exciting, is that I want you to call me, because I'm going to show you how you can get on a minimum of a 30-day, 100% money-back, risk-free guarantee of a month's supply of X39, and I'll show you how to do that. So what started happening is that when I changed my verbiage a little bit, I started getting more calls, I realized, and the 70% of the people would say, hey, you said I wouldn't feel anything, but I felt something. I'm excited. The 30% of the people would more of them were calling, and they said, yeah, you were right, I didn't feel anything. But both of them would usually say is that, but you promised us that you would show us how to now be able to try it for 30 days, because you can't do anything one day and expect to get tremendous results. I mean, sometimes, people have great things happen with X39 in one day, which I did, and we can share that at another point. But so anyway, I piqued their interest. They've called me on the phone, and go ahead, and they want to know how much it is. I've never told them any price. And I say, okay, let's say, Joe, let me ask you a few questions so we can see what's good for you. There's a couple of ways to come into this company with X39, and one is retail, which is $150, which I don't really recommend. But you can come in at $125 level. It's called bronze, and then you get a month's supply. the $25 has allowed you to be part of the company. So now if you want to order again, you get it at a wholesale price for $99. And also you get a beautiful website and a back office. And so usually Joe will say, well, yeah, that sounds good. Let me try that. And then I say, okay, Joe, I need to ask you a couple of personal questions if you don't mind. I want to figure out what's best for you to get you in the right spot and get you the right amount of patches. And he usually says, okay. And I say, okay, so are you married? You know what? I am married. And, oh, yeah, what about, my wife, Susie? She's got this and that. Do you think it might help her? Well, Joe, we don't make any medical claims, but I can assure you that everybody over the age of 30 has low stem cell activation. And by the time you're 60, it's, pretty much gone. And so most definitely she'll benefit from it. And we have a tremendous family package that I call, which is called the silver package, and it's only $299. And that way you get 3 sleeves, one for your wife, one for yourself. You have one to share, give people or give to a friend. You can sell it if you want to, or you can just keep it and, split it with your wife. Well, that sure sounds good. I want to do that, Ron. Well, okay. Now, Joe, let me ask you one more question just to get you, qualified in the best position that I can get you in. How's your job, Joe? Are you working? I know in this pandemic, I've had a lot of friends that have lost their jobs, and it's been pretty tough. Well, you know what, Ron? It's kind of ironic you asked me that. 6 months ago, I got laid off. Unemployment ran out, and my boss called me a couple of weeks ago and said our company is closing the doors. They can't make it. And I tell Joe, I said, no worries, Joe. We got a tremendous business building package if you're interested, and it's called the Diamond Package, and it's only $15.99, and you get 19 sleeves, and you get your price down from $99 to $84. You get a beautiful back office and website, and you can go ahead and sell those for $150 a piece if you want. You can share them with your friends, and that's what I came in, by the way, Joe, and I did pretty good my first month with that. And so a lot of times Joe will say he'll analyze it and he'll decide which one he wants to pick. And so whatever one he picks, I tell him, I say, each one of these have a tremendous money back guarantee. After 30 days, if you're not happy, you can go ahead and send back, what you haven't used, and they'll go ahead and, replace your money. And then if you've used one sleeve, they'll actually replace that also. So that's basically, in a nutshell, quickly, how I get them to call me back, get them qualified, and find out what's best shoe for them. And I tell you, the people that have come on board like that have told me later that they really appreciated how I qualified them and, spent some time with them and shared every one of those packages, because most people, well, everybody usually, unless they've already studied the website, doesn't know what levels, what packages we have. Every once in a while you get somebody that has done their homework and will ask you questions. And so then somebody will maybe say something about the other patches. And, and again, I tell them, let's get your own X39 story first. I love the other patches. I use some of them. And after 90 days, go ahead. You might want to maybe supplement something for one area that you feel needs a little more help. And then, after 30 days, maybe you can knock off of it and just, might have corrected it. But we always stay on X39. And so anyway, so that kind of wraps that part up. And Robin, back to you.
Well, that was brilliant. And I just want to do a little quick review so everyone got what Ron is doing that is working so magnificently. The first thing he did is he qualified people. He piqued their interest. And he had people watch the 3-minute video. He used the app to do that. But, what do you know about stem cells? What would you like better in your health? And then, when they're qualified and he samples them, he makes it really, really simple. With one patch, you may or may not feel anything. And he does the setup right at that point. And let's talk tomorrow when I can tell you, you may or may not feel anything, but when we talk tomorrow, I can give you an offer of getting a 30-day risk-free guarantee. So he sets it up magnificently. And many times they call back. Is that wonderful or what? I've never been in a business where people called me back like this one. And then some people feel it, some people don't, but they remember that he planted that seed of the 30-day guarantee and they want to know. And then he asks some qualifying questions again to make sure they're getting the right amount of patches. Is it just for themselves, or are they married? Do they have someone else in the family that they love or care about that, you know, he might want to get patches? And notice he stayed with a single product focus. The reason the company tripled in size, excuse me, from 2018 to 2019 was the single product focus in a multi-product company. We recommend most everyone use X39 for 60 to 90 days before they have, you know, try the other patches. If they have some severe symptoms, that's a special case and we certainly want them to get the benefit. And then he also goes into the financial part and wants to, you know, ask another qualifying question to see how they're holding up in these times, these challenging times. And there's so many different opportunities of how to get in. So you did a brilliant job. Any other final comments of what you've learned that's worked so well for you in converting people? Any other things that come to the top of your mind, Ron?
Yeah, one of the main things, the key verbiage here, and I want to correct that a little bit, is that I don't ask them, because it was a big game changer. I don't tell them that they may or may not feel anything. I just flat tell them they might not feel anything, period. That was a game changer for me. When I started telling people that, I already set the stage. And so almost all of them thought they weren't going to feel anything. So I already had that in their head, kind of had the hook in their lip a little bit. And where I got the hook completely in their lip is when I told them the next morning, you're going to call me. And I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and get on board and get a month's supply, 100% risk-free, and be able to try it for 30 days, because that's what we really need to do, is try something, you know, for more than a day. And so that worked for me. It's telling them that they might not feel anything. I know it sounds kind of silly, but it works.
You know what? You have experimented, and that's what we do as leaders. We try things and we figure out what works, and then we share it. And that's what you're doing tonight. You're a senior presidential. You're at the top of the pay plan. You're one of our top income earners, and we are so proud of you, Ron. It has been a joy to work with you and your people. So what I'd love to do is first thank you, and then I'm going to turn things over to Gregory, because we have a few different ways that, you know, some support literature that you can use when you're gifting people. So Gregory, you want to take things over and share about that?
Sure, Robin, I'd be happy to. And Ron, I love, you know, as a fellow fisherman, I love, you know, the metaphor, you know, you got to get the hook in their lip, you know. And you might not feel anything, but that's okay, because, and, you know, and I like, you know, and some people may add, but wonderful things are happening at a cellular level as we're starting to activate your stem cells, you know, so this is so exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen a little bit. Any final comments you wanted to make, Ron?
No, maybe, yeah, you know, first of all, I couldn't have done this without my team. Couldn't have done this without you guys or my team. And in the beginning, I told Robin that I would be calling her many times a day for a couple of months, which I did, because I was hungry and I knew that this product and this business was going to really fly. And so I had to, you know, get mentored. And so then my team, I work closely with my team. I have a phenomenal team. It'd take me an hour to mention all the names, but the people that are doing really well on my team are following, you know, my example. And they're doing really good. We have some good leaders that have coming up, and you guys ain't seen nothing yet.
Love it, love it.
Well, success does leave clues, and thank you so much, Ron, for sharing so many wonderful clues tonight. You know, and these are proven, you know, best practices and secrets to success. So thanks so much for being so open and sharing.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I just wanted to briefly touch, if you get the newsletter, I hope everybody here is getting the newsletter. There's two little support documents that make gifting, as we like to call it. You know, I think we're leaning in the direction of, you know, calling it gifting rather than sampling. And in the gifting process, yes, you're giving a sample. I just think gifting has a better connotation. I'd like to give you the gift of X39. So there's two support documents. One's an in-home document that you can print yourself, the Gift of Good Health flyer. And if you get the newsletter, you can click on the download link and download it. Simple little two-color, two-sided document. It simply outlines the X39 benefits and usage instructions and contains a health tracker on the backside for recipients to document their before and after results. And you can also find that document in our Facebook unit section. It's in the appendix of the Getting Started Guide. And it's also at our new liveyoungerdownloads.com, which is a Google file section where there's a few important documents there. So I'd also suggest if you're going to use that sheet, you consider ordering and including some of the company's X39 trifold flyers where you can gift. They're only 35 cents each. It's a nice 4-color trifold flyer all about X39, along with the simple 2-color sheet that you can print on your own inkjet printer. And then, Ron Ledford, another one of our top income earners, in fact, Ron Rabun's sponsor, he created a one-patch sample card, brilliantly laid out. It's a foldable card. It's professionally printed in a 4-color. It was created by Ron, and it can be personalized with your name, phone number, email, or it can be left blank. And I know, Ron, you said you buy them in quantity. You buy a big batch of them, and whenever you sign somebody up, you give them some, which is a very cool idea. I know Robin and I just ordered 25 to test them. I got notice that they were shipped. They're from Vistaprints. We just ordered 25. So, they're $1, about $1 a piece. I didn't know about the envelopes. I wish I did. I would have ordered some envelopes, go with it, but there's some nice blue envelopes that you can use. Nice professional way that you could be handing it out or sticking them in the mail. Doesn't really matter which system you're using, whether you're using the in-home printed flyer or you're using the one-patch sample card. The key is, as Judy Daniel likes to say, just keep on patching. And one of the things you might do if you're giving somebody a sample is right then and there, if you're physically with them, say, if it's okay with you, let me go ahead and put it on you right now. Don't leave it for them to take it off and put it on, take it off the flyer and put it on. You could put it right on them right then and tell them to leave it on for, 12. And for the first batch, 12 to 24 hours, doesn't really matter. We just don't want people leaving it on 24 hours around the clock. But so these two cards, so you can download there. There's also a link in the newsletter where you can go to the Vistaprint Custom Print Center and order some sample cards if you'd like to. So just really excited. Thank you, Ron Rabun. Thank you, Ron Ledford, for this beautiful little one-patch sample card. And it just keeps getting better and simpler. Keep it simple. And the more people you sample, as we like to say, we're in the sharing and caring business. And why not share the gift of good health and actually give somebody, when you give somebody a patch, it really engages them. And if you give them some supportive information along with it, and if they haven't already watched the 3-minute video right then and there, what's your phone number, and you type it into your InTouch system, and boom, you send them the video. So when you're following up tomorrow, they've got the video, they watched the video, if they watched it or not. And as Ron said, many of the times he's sending a sample of people who have already watched the video and then stepping them up to the next level after that. So, boy, what a wonderful batch of information. Thanks again, Ron. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, Robin.
I thought you were going to take over and talk about the Empower series.
Oh, you're right.
Okay. Back to you.
Well, the next step, back to me. Okay, I'll turn my camera on then. So.
Yes, do that.
Bingo. Hello, everyone. Over here. Robin's in the other office. I'm over in this office. And we've been doing the Empower series on a weekly basis. We're moving into week 6. This is week 6. We've done a great job. Many people have helped reviewing and summarizing the first 5 weeks of the Empower series. Now we're on week 6, and we have our dear friend and favorite, Michelle Nels, who kind of summarized week 6, and she's going to, kind of set the hook, if you will, carrying forward with Ron's terms. She's going to set the hook to hopefully it gets you excited enough that you want to go to Lifeway empowerlifewave.com, password X39, and listen to this fabulous training. So Michelle, over to you.
Thanks, Gregory. And thanks, Ron. That was a lot of fun. I got a lot out of that message. Thank you, Ron. So week 6 in LifeWave Empower, I just have a kitty cat that came in from 14-degree cold, so she may jump up, was Vin Jang. And oh my gosh, a consummate showman. This man had me literally on the edge of my seat. And I decided I am not going to give away the whole show. I'm going to share a few little highlights and pique your interest and your curiosity, because you guys must see this. If you haven't seen it, you're do yourself a great favor. In fact, when I was watching it yesterday, my boyfriend came in the room and his jaw dropped and he said, "Who is that guy?" And he listened for a few minutes. He said, "I like him." And then he pulled up a chair. He just joined me for the whole thing. We had such a good time watching Vin Jang. So Vin Jang is a magician and he's very entertaining. So the beginning of his presentation, he's doing some magic tricks and that ties in. And, but it's very curious because he was studying commerce and law. And 6 months before graduation, he told his parents, "I want to pursue a career in magic." And what he realized was that success is not just about your technical skill, knowledge, and experience, but it's about showmanship. And he demonstrates that with the cards, and you have to see it to understand what I'm talking about. But he shared in this wonderful, lively, very engaging presentation, the 2 components of communication skills. One is your visual image and one is your vocal image. Your visual image is the way you dress, the way your hair is, your body language. He didn't spend a lot of time on that. He talked mostly about vocal image, which he says, that is what is going to grab your audience or your prospect. And he shared 5 vocal foundations. And I'm not going to go into all of them. I encourage you all to listen, but I will tell you one of them that sort of surprised me, but not really, was the power of the pause. And all of us are familiar with being nervous in public speaking and such, or even speaking to a prospect, and how we may be stumbling over ums and ahs and and likes. And he says that's all verbal clutter. And he says it's really important. It's auditory clutter. And he says it's really important to clarify and to bring your message into clarity and to be more influential and more impactful, to use the power of the pause. There's 4 others. You'll have to listen to his workshop to hear them. Kitty cat. And he says, you can pick out a great communicator, but we don't always understand why someone is a great communicator. And he says, it actually comes down to these 5 vocal foundations. And he says, it's not just about getting good, it's about mastering them. And when you master the vocal foundations, he says, it will completely change the way you come across with your vocal image. Then he spent a little time talking about visual image in regards to hand gestures. And it was so entertaining. I was cracking up. My boyfriend was cracking. He is very funny. He's very entertaining. And he's probably one I'm going to listen to a 3rd time. So he ended his presentation talking about a self-awareness technique, which when he said it, it made me a little nervous. But then I thought, well, it's just me. I can do this. And he says, you should record and review. It's called record and review. He says, create a 5-minute video. Use your cell phone. Create a 5-minute video. And you can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be LifeWave. It would be great if it was LifeWave. He says, and then you're going to go through 3 reviews. And I'll let you lean in and find out what that is when you watch his presentation. But he says, but if you do this 10 times and you do a video 10 times, and you do these 3 reviews, he says, you will clean up your visual and your vocal image to the point where you will become a powerful and as powerful and impactful as possible. And the last thought from Vin Jang is, your voice is an instrument which goes with you wherever you go. And if you master this instrument, you will become a powerful communicator and more confident. He says, master your instrument, because it's the tide that lifts all boats. I thought that was a great quote. So that was Vin Jang. Thanks, Gregory.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Michelle. Great job. And I also want to thank Wendy Teague for writing up the notes for week number 6. And if you've got the newsletter, you can click on and get a summary notes, which will further set the hook, because if you read the notes plus what, the highlights that Michelle just gave us, I think a lot of people are going to be listening to him over the next few days. And if you'd like to join us this Thursday morning, every Thursday morning, we have a kind of a business chat, and we've dedicated a significant part of the Thursday morning to just discussing the weekly episode of the Empower series that we're going through. So this week, we'll be talking a little bit more about him. So thank you, Michelle. And with that said, Robin, I think my portion's come to conclusion. I'll turn it back to you.
It's my turn now. Thank you. Michelle, you do a fabulous job, and that was definitely great inspiration to want to listen again if you haven't listened again or listened to the first time, because it's really true. All those pieces are really important. So I just want to finish things up and talk a little bit about, and thank you, Wendy, for those great notes. And we have a wonderful collection of them. We do have a promotion going on right now. It's for customers and distributors. There was a little, glitch this morning. It showed up just for customers, not distributors. I got all figured out. You save 25%, which is a very nice saving if you buy 3 X39s. And I can certainly tell in our volume this week that a lot of people are buying that. It's a great time to stock up, because you can feel even more abundant in your sharing. And one of the things that Ron didn't say that I forgot to ask him is, how many people does he sample a day? And he has a full-time job, and it's his season for his work as a chimney sweep. And so he doesn't have a lot of extra time, but he maximizes it. And he does sample 2 to 3 people a day. So just remember that, we talk about 2 in play, 2 a day, 10 in play, if you're going to sample 5 days, or gift, I should say, because it is a gift, and it's giving the gift of health. So just know that it's the consistency that makes the difference also. And Ron's been masterful at that. So the customer is, and where you find the promotions, it's really, they actually have a pop-up that shows up, but when you go to order, it will say there's a current promotion. And you go to the store, there's a promotion tab. So please use that, okay? And help other people understand. And we will be posting it. We'll do the pinned post on our Facebook group as soon as this call is over, so everybody could see it in case you must have missed it. We're getting amazing responses from the David Schmidt webinar. I mean, I had no idea. And, the views are, have a comment in them now. They're well over 1,000. People are loving it. There's, I had no idea there were so many science geeks out there. It's not just the practitioners, but, when you're talking to your prospects, you might want to ask them, are you someone who really likes to see the science? And so if they are, we have a brand new webinar from our founder and inventor that really goes into the science for 45 minutes, and then Q&A from practitioners for another 45 minutes. But it's well worth it if you love the science. And if they see that people are upgrading, oh, good. Thank you, Gregory. People are upgrading, people are coming on board that were prospects. So that webinar you can find in the liveyoungeryoutube.com. And it's the first one that you can find, and just, copy that YouTube link and share it abundantly. And then the final comment for this evening is, we have our Tuesday evening introduction of LifeWave and X39, and we have a rotation of different doctors. And I mean, each one of them is developing their own fan club, and they're all fabulous. So tomorrow night is Dr. Barbara Jennings. She's a chiropractor, and she is just a gem. So I believe that's all for this evening. We want to thank everyone for being with us. We also want to give a special thank you to Ron Rabun, who provided tremendous value. You can rewatch this probably tomorrow or on the Facebook group immediately, because it was live and is live. And hello, Facebook people. It's interesting to be available in so many mediums, and we're grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you, Gregory. She's the tech support rock to make all this look easy. And Michelle, beautiful job tonight. Wendy, thank you. All of you, we just love this community. This time of year, giving the gift of health, there's nothing else. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. And I think everybody knows the power of this product if you're here, that we are changing lives every single day. And, you know, my sore knee turned into thousands and thousands of lives changing, because I really do feel the responsibility to share. So Ron's guidelines were fabulous. Use them, try them, find what works for you naturally. And as we say, success is not magical, it's mathematical. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.